Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahmavidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. We were looking at the introductory bhashyam, where Bhashyakara is arguing with a karmata, okay, one who says that karma will give you moksha, particularly the nitya karma, which is done without without any association with a particular result, okay, and along with upasana, that will give you a special effect. That is their claim. So this nitya karma itself can give moksha because it has not been assigned any specific result, and moksha is anyway desirable by everybody. Therefore, we will connect the two. This is the kind of argument the Purva Pakshi is making. Bhashyakara tried to show them that karma and its results, if you take the karma phala or the results of karma, can be categorized into only 4 types. Okay, 4 types of results are possible, and moksha does not fit in any of these 4. What are those 4? One is you create something newly. Using karma, you can do srishti, or you can reach somewhere, or gain or reach, or you can modify something, or you can purify something. Now, none of these things apply to moksha as a phala. Therefore, moksha cannot be karma phala itself, not just nitya karma, but any karma phala. It cannot be the result of any action, moksha or freedom, because it is already there. It is nitya swarupa of oneself. So basically, the bandha itself is in the form of ignorance, and therefore jnana alone can remove the ignorance. And when the ignorance goes, you are actually accomplishing the accomplished. That's what we say. You have already accomplished something, you are already that, and because there is ignorance with reference to that, only that ignorance has to go, nothing more has to be done. Okay, so this is the moksha swarupa, or the nature of freedom from all limitations. So in this context, one interesting argument we saw, I think last time, finally, is that Bhashyakara said that none of these 4 types moksha is. Then Purva Pakshi says, okay, let it be, but still karma can give you moksha. Okay, because the nitya karma is a different type of karma. There is a vailakshanya is there. Okay, compared to all other types of karma and the karma phala you are talking about. So it can give moksha phala. For that, Bhashyakara still patiently is arguing. He says karmatva salakshanyat. So nitya karma also is karma only. Therefore, you cannot say that it can give a result which none of the karma can anyway give. Okay. Therefore, its result also should be one of these 4 types only. That's the argument. Then for that, he said, no, nimitta vailakshanya. Like this, another argument the Purva Pakshi is keeping. Basically, he's saying the reason or the cause for doing the nitya karma is different. Therefore, its phala also, phala vailakshanya also has to be there if the nimitta vailakshanya is there. Now, this argument also, Bhashyakara says, it is not applicable because there are many karma which are being done for a particular nimitta. Okay, when something happens for a particular reason, only we do those karma. We don't do it just like that. Okay, periodically, or just because you desire something and all, you don't do that. Kamya karma you can do anytime. Nitya karma you have to do at the time it has been prescribed, correct? But naimittika karma means they are all, you have to do them based on event. Some event has happened and all that. The reason or the cause for which you are doing that itself is given. For example, if in those days they were maintaining Agni at home, correct? Ahita Agni and all we say. So 3 Agnis you have to maintain. In fact, during the wedding only you start that. In many homes nowadays, particularly Brahmanas, they have this Upasana pots will be there. During the wedding only, you have to start the Upasana. The Upasana is done in one particular Agni. Okay, Agnihotra, and then other Agni Karma, like that 3 Agnis are kept. But this Upasana pot and all, they just bring home and then keep it somewhere. It will be there. Most of the time, if you see some of the loft in the home, they'll have this Upasana pane, like that they would have kept it. So nobody does it anyway, but the 3 Agnis they were supposed to maintain, and sometimes it can burn down your house itself, let us say. So when in such a case, you have to do a prayaschitta karma called Shamavati, and there are how many Purodasha and all that. It is said that so many you have to actually offer to the Agni, etc., to basically cool down the Agni Bhagavan. Okay, Shamavati. Now, just because the nimitta there is different, it does not give moksha, correct? Shamavati cannot give you moksha. Shamavati is basically because a particular nimitta happened, you have to do that as a prayaschitta, or there are other karma also, like that it is said, Bhinne Juhoti, Skanne Juhoti and all, it is said, Bhashyakara says here. So if you are, the vessel which you are having, the havis, in which you are having the havis, if it breaks, or the havis itself spills during a karma, you have to do a prayaschitta for that. Now that karma does not give you moksha, correct? The nimitta is different. Just because nimitta is different, you cannot say the in the case of nitya karma, what is the nimitta which is different, which these guys are pointing out, is that yavad jivam, like that it is said. Okay, that is the point they are claiming. No other karma is prescribed till the time you live. Okay, just because you are living, you have to do nitya karma, particularly if you are a Vaidika. So that is the nimitta. Okay, that has been said by the Shruti. Just because of that, in that way, nitya karma is different from all other karma, we accept. But that difference alone cannot make nitya karma give you moksha, correct? There are so many karma you are doing due to different nimittas. All of them do not give moksha. Similarly, even though we agree that the nimitta for the nitya karma is different compared to other karma, that does not mean that it has to give moksha. Okay, this is the argument Bhashyakara is making. So he says here, Jivanadi nimittecha shravanat. Fine. We agree that the nimitta karma, in this case, if you consider the nitya karma as nimitta, what is the nimitta for that? The very fact that you are living, you are supposed to do nitya karma. Okay, that is fine, but just because of that nimitta, you cannot say that nitya karma will give you moksha. So tata nityanam api na mokshaha phalam. So moksha phala is not possible. Again, he is actually enumerating this as a more generic principle, in fact, where he is giving the analogy of an owl. So he says, generally light or the visible light is the sadhana or the means for you to see something, correct? For all the human beings, at least visible light has to be there. But owls can see at night also. They don't require, at least the spectrum in which we are seeing, that light they don't require. Okay. So ulukadayaha alokena rupam na pashyanti iti ulukadi chakshushaha vailakshanyat itara loka chakshurbihi. So with reference to the other eyes or eyes of the human beings, the eyes of the owl are different. They have vailakshanya, correct? Just because they are different from the eyes of the human being, you cannot say the eyes of the owl can hear something, correct? You cannot assign a capability to that which is not even under discussion, or which is not its samarthya, it is capability. Eyes are for seeing. Of course, the nimitta or the cause for the sight itself may vary depending on what kind of eye you are having. But eyes only can still see, correct? You cannot say the eyes are going to hear, or eyes will be tasting something, etc. So that's what here Bhashyakara says. We can accept that there is a difference in the eyes of the owl compared to the eyes of the human being. That is fine. But still the eyes can only see, correct? It cannot taste. So na rasadi vishayatvam parikalpyate. Rasadi vishaye samarthyasya adrishtatva. The eyes do not have the capability to taste. Of course, we accept that the eyes of the owl are different from the eyes of the human being. They can see even at the night and all that, which is all fine. But still we have to only talk within the capability of the eyes, correct? We cannot assign something which is not within the capability of the eyes and claim that the eyes of the owl, being different from the eyes of the human being, can taste also. That will not be proper. So that's what he is pointing out. So this he says in a very more generic manner. Sudurmapi gatva yad vishayam drishtam samarthyam tatreva kaschid visheshaha kalpayitavyaha, he says. See, even you go, in this case, suduram means you have gone far away. Basically, if you are talking about the sight of human beings, from there, the sight of the owl are very different, correct? You have gone far away, but even though you have gone far away, but even in that eyes of the owl also, they may be operating in a totally different manner, under a totally different condition, etc. But still, you have to only assign them whatever they are capable of, correct? So their samarthya you have to still take into account, and within that you can give some vishesha. You can say, okay, the eyes of the owl are different, so they can see at night. That is a vishesha. That is a differentiation you can give. But you cannot say the eyes of the owl are different, therefore they can taste. In taste, the eyes do not have any capability. If they do not have any capability for a particular thing, you cannot say that that they will have that or they can have it like that. Kalpayitavya means whatever you are, kalpana means generally imagine, but here it is not basically imagination or anything. Whatever you are saying about something, okay? So whatever you can theorize, you can say maybe, or hypothesize. So whatever hypothesis you give should be within the capability of that particular organ, okay? So that's what you have to do. You cannot just, whatever you fancy, you cannot say all that. So further, now up to this, the argument, one argument is over, okay? Bhashyakara, now he has basically argued for a long time now. All types of arguments he has answered and established that moksha is not karma phala, okay? But then he now shifts to another point. Just because we say that moksha is not karma phala, it does not mean that we do not accept the vailakshanyam or the speciality of the nitya karma done without a particular expectation of a result, karma phala. And also, even if you are doing it along with upasana and all that, there can be vailakshanya there. There can be still something special about that. We do not negate that part of it. That speciality cannot produce moksha is what we have negated. Now he goes back and now he's trying to now accommodate that within the overall framework, whatever the Vedas are teaching us, are revealing to us. So now he says, Yat punaha uktam, whatever you said, okay. Again, let us see that. What that? Vidya mantra sharkaradi sanyukta vishadadhyadivati nityani karyantaram arabhanta iti. So you said, like even these curds and even poison, etc., under special circumstances, like adding sugar to the curds or whatever, you give the poison along with chanting of some mantra and all that, they can produce different type of results than their normal results. That we agree, he says. So whatever you said, like that, he says, Arabhyatam Vishishtam Karyam. Let them do that. Let them start, or let them give us the special result or a different result. Okay, Vishishtam Karyam. The effect can be different. We are not disputing that at all. In fact, it is something which we desire, in fact. So he says, Tat Ishtatvad Avirodaha. We are not opposing it because it is Ishta for us also. We also desire that. We agree that the same things, but in combination with some other thing, they may give different results and all that. Okay. Normally it gives one result, but in combination with something else or due to some nimitta, etc., it can give a different result. That is Ishta for us also. We are not opposing that as a principle or anything. So we accept that. Okay. And now he explains that how we can accommodate that. How? So he says, Nirabhisandehe karmanaha vidya sanyuktasya vishishta karyantara arambhe na kaschid virodaha, he says. That's what he explains it very clearly. Now you do karma without expectation of any particular result. In fact, result itself has not been assigned by the Shruti also. Shruti just says, Yavat Jivam, until the time you live, you have to do Nitya Karma. Okay, so you do that. And you do along with that, you are doing some upasana also, Vidya Sanyuktasya. For that, a special result will be there. Okay, Vishishta Karyantaram Arabhe. It will start or it will give you something special, a different kind of result. In that we don't have any opposition. Na kaschid virodha. In fact, Bhashyakara now tries to establish that is fine. So he says, Devayaji, Atmayajinoho, Atmayajinaha, Vishesha Shravanat, Devayajinaha, Shreyan Atmayaji, Ityadav. Then also, Yedeva Vidyaya Karoti, Ityadav cha. So now he says, see, we don't have any virodha towards that because even within the Shastra also, this kind of specialities are talked about. What is the one speciality he quotes now? He says, those who worship the devas, as separate from oneself and all that. With reference to them, the Atmayaji means what? One who is worshipping oneself, we have to take, but that is only a figurative usage. Basically, the Atmayaji is the Jnani. Okay. So Atmayaji is better than Devayaji, like the Shatapatha Brahmana itself says. Okay. So Devayajinaha Shreyan Atmayaji, with reference to the Devayajis, compared to the Devayaji, the one who worships the Devas, the one who worships the self means the knower of self, Jnani, is better. So like this, we also have the Shruti is saying that we accept that there is a difference. Similarly, this Chandogya Shruti is very famous. It's often quoted also. Yadeva Vidyaya Karoti, then Viryavat Taram Bhavati, like that it is said. Okay. Shraddhadanascha, Upanishada, like that and all, it is there little bit, but yeah. But basically what? Any karma you do along with Vidya or Upasana, or knowingly you do that. You have to know the meaning, etc. Then it gives you better results. Viryavat Taram, it says. The results are different In fact, Bhashyakara, if you go and read that Bhashya in Chandogya Shruti, it is interesting. He gives the example and all that. Like even the see, one person may get a diamond, correct, but he doesn't know the value of that really. So he can go to some shop and sell it for a few rupees. But the one who has knowledge about that, he knows the value, and he can even actually sell it for a lot more, correct? Like this, the knowledge makes all the difference. We know that nowadays, in fact, knowledge makes all the difference, even in making money. So like that, you do something with the knowledge, knowing the meaning, etc., then you will get better results. Here also there is a taratamya is shown, correct? The karma is the same, but if you do it with knowing all the details and the meaning, etc., you get better results. This Chandogya Shruti itself is saying that we accept that also. So in these cases, you can see, since we accept this, we accept whatever you say also. We do not have any problem with that. And further, Bhashyakara now he quotes Manu. In fact, the number of places where Bhashyakara is quoting Manu, when I see that, we know that how much Manu Dharma Shastra has been one of the important things. Because one of the things nowadays many people say, as though Manu and all is something to be condemned or whatever. Okay. But Manu Dharma Shastra has, even for Moksha Shastra, this is basically Moksha Shastra, what Bhashyakara is talking about here. Even here he quotes Manu a lot. Okay. So that's how much the tradition is giving respect to Manu. So Bhashyakara is now quoting Manu with reference to the Paramatma Darshana. So he says, Yastu Paramartha Darshana Vishaye Manuna Uktaha Atmayaji Shabdaha Sampashyan Atmayaji Ityatra Samam Pashyan Atmayaji Bhavati Ityarthaha. So now Bhashyakara is quoting this Atmayaji word is not only there in the Shatapatha Brahmana, it is also used by Manu. In fact, the verse of the Manu is very similar to the Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter also. It is there. Sarva bhutastam atmanam sarva bhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. Like that it is there. So here Manu says sarva bhuteshu chatmanam sarva bhutani chatmani sampashyan atmaya jivai swarajyam adhigacchati. This is the Manu's verse. So sarva bhuteshu chatmanam sarva bhutani chatmani. Again, this goes to the Ishavasya Upanishad also. There is a similar quote there. So the one who sees all the beings in oneself, and also one who sees oneself in all the beings. Like this it is said. That means the Sarvatma Bhava is so beautifully said. So the one who has the Sarvatma Bhava means he then sees everything as Sama. Sampashyan means, Bhashyakara here, he actually seeing very well. Samyak Pashyan also you can take, but Bhashyakara takes it as Samam Pashyan is Sampashyan, because one who sees everywhere. Shuni Chaiva Shvapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha, like the Gita also is there. Samadarshana means you see Atma everywhere, basically. The same Atma is appearing as all that is here. So that person is the Atmayaji, because he sees Atma everywhere. Okay. So that person only is Atmayaji, means he is a Jnani. That's what Bhashyakara is pointing out here. The Atmayaji used is with reference to a Jnani, and therefore you can say that the Atmayaji seeing everything as Sama is a Jnani. Or for the word Atmayaji, Bhashyakara wants to give another meaning also, by which he will also connect karma with jnanam. Okay. So now he gives the other meaning. Athava bhuta purva gatya. So otherwise, this Atmayaji can be taken as referring to the jnani before becoming the jnani, was doing karma anyway, correct? But then Jnani was still a mumukshu. And mumukshu, how a mumukshu should do karma means you have to do with yoga buddhi, etc. And what is this yoga buddhi? Yoga buddhi is nothing but you do karma, but not for the limited results of action, but as a means for purifying yourself. Okay, chitta shuddhi and all that. So that's what Bhashyakara is pointing out now. The Jnani also was a mumukshu. So from that standpoint, from his previous lifestyle, okay, or before Jnanam, whatever he was doing, from that standpoint also the Atmayaji can be used. How? Atmayaji means the one who does karma for purifying oneself. Atma samskarartham, he says. So Atmayaji can be taken as the one who is seeing everything, Atma everywhere. Means he is a Jnani. Otherwise, Atmayaji can also be taken as one who is doing yajna, okay, yajati, correct? One who does worship, but not for any limited karma phala, but to purify oneself. Atma samskarartham. So the Atmayaji can be the one who is doing karma to purify oneself with yoga buddhi. He does. And what does he do? Nityani karmani karoti. Nitya karma is mandated karma, so he does that. Of course, as a mumukshu, he can, or we normally say, what is the prescription for a mumukshu? Avoid kamya karma. Avoid all the karma which is optional and which is based on your desire alone. That is what is kamya karma, correct? Avoid all pratisiddha karma. Avoid all forbidden things also. But only do nitya and naimitika karma. Nitya karma is anyway enjoined by the Veda. It is mandatory. Do it, but not for any swarga phala or anything, just to purify yourself. So like that, the one who does nitya karma, so the nitya karma about which you want to have special result, correct? We'll tell you how that nitya karma can be made to give special result. This is how it is. So the person does the nitya karma for one's own purification. So here the Atma samskarartham also, Atma here is the mind only you have to take. Antakarana only is called Atma. To purify one's own antakarana, you do the nitya karma. And in fact, karma can purify oneself. That's why we have all these 40 samskaras and all that we say, correct? Hindu samskaras, purificatory rituals. Bhashyakara quotes, even here he quotes Shatapatha Brahmana and even Manu. So he says, again he quotes Manu here. So he says, idam me anena angam samskriyate. So the karma can purify. So here the Shatapatha Brahmana says, may this, by this karma, whatever ritual we are doing, let it purify this anga, my parts, my body parts, etc. So this quotation is there, and also this shruti is there. Then tata what? Garbhaihi homaihi ityadi prakarane karyakarana samskarartatvam nityanam karmanam darshayati. Manu also shows in the second chapter, he starts right from Garbha onwards, you have to do some karma, correct? Garbha dhana, etc. The homa karma and all you do. In that section, Manu also says that this nitya karma purifies your own body and mind, etc. Okay, because you are doing that nitya karma, you don't know immediately what result it will give you. But still, if you have the discipline and shraddha to do that, you are overcoming your own likes and dislikes. That is the purification we are talking about. So by doing the nitya karma, you purify yourself. This Manu also talks about it. So Bhashyakara again quotes Manu here. So karya karana samskarartatvam nityanam karmanam darshayati. Manu is showing that. And so once you are pure, okay, what is the result of that purification? That also he has to say. Now he says that Samskritascha, okay, the one who is purified like that, one who has a certain disposition, of course, is a mumukshu also. So Samskritascha Yaha Atmayaji. The Atmayaji here is the one who is doing karma for one's own purification. Taihi karma bihi samam drashtum samarthaha bhavati. So by becoming purified, he becomes qualified to see this, to gain this samadrishti, correct? To see one's own Atma everywhere. Okay, so the samam drashtum samarthaha bhavati. So then same nitya karma can now become a means, indirectly a means for gaining purification, and through that you become qualified to gain this jnanam and the samadrishti. So this is how Bhashyakara now beautifully fits in karma also. It's not that we are condemning karma completely or saying karma is useless. Karma has a very important role to play. So samartha bhavati, and because of this samarthya, of course, just the samarthyam alone will not give you the phala, correct, or this drishti. Other things are required, so that may happen right now or it may happen later on also. He says, Tasya iha janmantreva samam atma darshanam utpadyate. So because he has the capability now, because he has a purified antakarana, this person can have this samadrishti either in this life or in some other life. Okay, that punya phala will be there. It carries forward, correct? Bhagavan says in the 6th chapter also. So even yoga brashta athava yoginam eva kule bhavati dhimatam tatratam buddhi sanyogam labhate paurva dehikam. Like this Bhagavan says. So this person gains the connection with the previous buddhi. Okay, peacock is shouting. Anyway, we'll continue. So he can gain this jnanam either in this life or in some other life. And once he has this samadrishti, then what? Samam pashyan swarajyam adhigacchati. That is the verse, the entire verse meaning Bhashyakara now gives here. So having seen one's own Atma everywhere, he gains swarajya. Means what? Swarajya is, we can say, independence. Okay. Swayam rajate, you shine in your own glory. That is swarajya. So you are shining as you are, not dependent on anything. Okay. Swarajyam adhigacchati iti yeshaha arthaha. This is the meaning. Okay. Manu also says this, Atmayaji. So now he summarizes the entire thing. He says, Atmayaji shabdastu bhuta purvagatya prayudyate jnana yuktanam nityanam karmanam jnanotpatti sadhanatva pradarshanartham. So now Bhashyakara finally concludes. He says this, see, from this Atmayaji Shabda itself, what do we understand? For the Jnani also, from the previous, with reference to his previous state, okay, this Atmayaji Shabda can be used even for a Jnani, the one who has Jnana now, Jnana Yuktanam. And for that Jnani also, the Nitya Karma only the Jnani has done as a Mumukshu. And because of that, Jnani gains Chitta Shuddhi, and the Chitta Shuddhi itself becomes a Jnanotpatti Sadhana. It becomes the means for the Jnana to happen. And Jnana gives you Moksha. That is the correct sequence of things. And that's how you have to understand. Okay, you cannot say directly you shun Jnanam and only do karma and then you will get Moksha. That is not correct. Jnana also requires prerequisites, and karma has a role with reference to those prerequisites. Okay, that's how we have to understand that. Also further he says this. Okay, again he shows that the best you can get from karma, what you can get, that also Manu talks about that in the 12th chapter. So he quotes that again. Kincha anyat. Further what? Brahma Viswasrijaha Dharmaha Mahan Avyaktam Evacha Uttamam Satvikim Etam Gatim Ahur Manishinaha. So Uttamam Satvikim means the very exalted, and that which you can gain through Satvika, attaining a certain state of sattva, correct? Means this punya you are gaining and you are having sattva pradhanya by doing karma and upasana only here, correct? So the highest phala you can get, and who are saying that? Manishinaha, those who know, knowledgeable people, the gati, the state one can gain. What is that? The uttamam satviki means the highest state. By doing karma and upasana is this only. What is that? It can be called as Brahma. Brahma is Hiranyagarbha, okay? Or Vishwasrijaha or Prajapati, the one who creates the entire world. Prajapati also you can say. Or Dharmaha, some people take it as Yama Dharma also here. Or becoming a Yama, the Yama Padavi. Or Dharma means this entire, this lot of punya you can take. And Mahan means again the great state, okay? You are really, or Mahat, like that it is said, the first Ahankara. In the Srishti itself, all these different states of Prakriti are also discussed. So Mahan can be connected to that also. Or Avyakta means unmanifest. So like this, these are all the things which you can attain maximum. That Manu himself says that with karma and upasana, you can attain to all these exalted states, but nothing more than this. So this is shown. Then further also, Deva Sarti Vyatirekena means, see, the Devatas are there. You can gain to this level of becoming the Devatas. That all the Manishinaha, those who are knowledgeable, they are saying that. But the other thing also it is shown here, correct? You merge with the Devatas, or you become Devatas, or you also merge with all the Mahabhutas. Bhuta apyayam darshayati. Bhutan apyeti panchavai. So you become the Panchabhutas themselves, means basically you are become everything. This is also, this can be a phala, upasana phala. So like this, up to this only it is talked about. So either you become all these different Devatas, Brahma, Prajapati, Yama, or even Avyakta, etc. Or you become one, merge with all the Panchabhutas. Up to this only the karma and upasana phala is there. It cannot be anything more than this. Moksha is not talked about even by Manu with reference to karma and upasana. That's what Bhashyakara wants to point out here. So Bhutani apyeti panchavai. The Panchabhutas, one merges into that, or one becomes these Panchabhutas themselves. Like this Virat, you can say. There is also another Patha Bheda here. Bhutani atyeti iti patham ye kurvanti. Tesham Veda Vishaye Parichinnad Buddhitvat Adoshaha, he says. So Bhutani Atyeti means you transcend the Bhutas themselves by doing karma. But that Patha is not correct. Bhashyakara says, because it goes against what you cannot transcend all this by doing karma. Jnanam alone, through jnana alone, you can transcend, and that's what all the Upanishads are also teaching. So Manu cannot say something other than that. So some people actually, instead of apyeti, they take it as atyeti and claim that karma alone gives moksha. See, Manu also has said, you transcend all these panchabhutas, etc. That is not correct. Okay, bhutani atyeti iti patam ye kurvanti. Those who take the pata like that, tesham veda vishaye parichinna buddhitva, they have only limited knowledge of veda vishaya, he says, because anything the smriti says should be in keeping with the shruti. You cannot interpret a smriti and claim different meaning when it is going against what the shruti has said. So this bhutani atyeti is not a correct reading. Bhutani apyeti only is the right reading. And so maximum one can be is one becomes the Virat, or one merges with all the Panchabhutas. Okay, that much only it is said. Also, some of these people claim all these things which are said by Manu or even the Upanishad as Arthavada. This is another favorite argument of many of these people. Arthavada means what? It is all only some story. You should not take it literally. Okay, whatever is said in the Karma Kanda only you have to take literally. Whatever the Upanishad says and all, it is not Pramana Vakya. It should not be taken as something which the Veda is revealing newly. You have to connect it with some karma. These are all only some figurative stories. So you have to connect it with something else and try to understand the meaning. Don't take it so seriously. They do not have any independent status as revealing something, some new knowledge or anything. This is one type of argument. Okay, if everything else fails, they fall back onto that, I think. So Bhashyakara takes that argument also here. He says, whatever is said by this Shatapatha Brahmana with reference to Atmayaji, or even whatever Manu is saying here, you cannot brush it aside as Arthavada. All these things cannot be some eulogy or some praise or some kind of a story which is with some meaning, etc. It is not like that. They are proper Pramana Vakya. We have to take them as it is. Why it is not Arthavada, he explains that. See, he doesn't just give a statement. He says why. He says Adhyayasya Brahmanta Karma Vipakarthasya Tad Vyatirikta Atma Jnanarthasya Cha Karma Kanda Upanishadbhyam Tulyarthatva Darshana. So even in this Adhyaya, where Manu is talking about karma and moksha, also he talks about karma and karma phala. So in that Adhyaya, he shows this up to Brahma Padavi you can get by doing karma and upasana. But this Atma Jnana is different from that. Manu also is showing that. Okay. Tad Vyatirikta Atma Jnanarthasya. So the karma which can give you up to the status of being Brahma, and Atma Jnana which is separate from that, both are talked about in this Adhyaya. And therefore it is all not something figurative or Arthavada or anything. They are in fact in keeping with the Karma Kanda and Upanishad in the Veda itself. Whatever the Smriti is, the Smriti cannot say something different from whatever is there in the Shruti. So Bhashyakara connects it with the Shruti now. So that is the same thing which is there with reference to Karma Kanda and Upanishad also. Whatever is the difference, the same thing is shown by Manu also in this Adhyaya. Therefore it is Tulyarthatva Darshana. So it is similar to whatever is there in the Veda only. Okay. Further what? Vihita Akarana Pratisiddha Karmanam Cha Sthavara Shvasukaradi Phala Darshana. Also, in the same Adhyaya, if you don't do your Vihita Karma or whatever is to be done, then you do all forbidden things. If you don't do whatever is to be done, human being is of the nature of doing something, correct? Then you will do something which is not to be done. Okay, Pratisiddha karma you will do, and then because of that, what will you get? That also is said there. All those things you don't take it as Arthavada. Whatever is, if something is said with reference to moksha, you take it as Arthavada. Then you should take all these things also as Arthavada, correct? That they don't do. So Bhashyakara says, even in the same chapter only, Manu is also talking about if you don't do the Vihita karma and if you do Pratisiddha karma, you get lives like plants or dog, correct? Or even pig, Sukaradi, Phala Darshana, you will get Janma like that. That Phala also is shown there. Also, Vantashyadi, Preta Darshanancha, again, if you do a lot of papa, you this Vantashya means they eat, vomit, like that. There is one kind of Preta is there, it seems. These are all talked about. In fact, if you read some of these Puranas and all these things, what all kinds of Janma you will get if you transgress and if you do something wrong and all, too many lists are there. Okay, so you can get some Janma like that also. Okay. So all these things are also said there. You are accepting all that. Therefore, it is not Arthavada. Also, further what? Nacha Shruti Smriti Vihita Pratisiddha Vyatirekena Vihitani va Pratisiddhani va Karmani Kenachid Avagantum Shakyante Yesham Akaranad Anushtanatcha Preta Shvasukara Stavaradini Karma Phalani Pratyaksha Anumanabhyam Upalabhyante. Also, other than these results, okay, through your Pratyaksha and Anumana also, through your sense perception and inference, etc., we do not see any other results, okay, for all these things. It is only there in the Shruti and Smriti only, all these things are talked about, okay. So, the Shruti and Smriti only are telling you what you have to do, Vihita Karma, what you should not do, Pratisiddha. So, other than this, if you don't do that, okay, what are you going to get? The phala, all that also is said there only. And even to know what is to be done, what is not to be done also, we only take refuge in Shruti and Smriti. Just by your Pratyaksha and Anumana, you cannot arrive at all that. So, why Bhashyakara points this out is to show that whatever is said in that Adhyaya is a Pramana Vakya. Because if, for showing that it is a Pramana Vakya, one is he proved that it is not Arthavada. The other they can say it is all Anuvada. Okay, Anuvada means what? I can know it through other means of knowledge also. So with reference to this Papa or doing this Vihita Karma not doing, Pratisiddha Karma doing, if you do all that, you will get all this, whatever, lowly lives, etc. We can know it through Pratyaksha and Anumana, nobody can say that. Correct? Only the Shruti and Smriti are the Pramana for that. So that way also he is trying to show here, this Adhyaya, whatever subject matter is there, it is all only, whatever is revealed there is all valid knowledge. It is not some figurative stories or anything like that, nor is it some restatement of what you already know. Certain things you can say is restatement. Whatever is left out, then they can again claim it is Arthavada. Correct? You cannot do like that. Because whatever is to be done, whatever is not to be done, all that you know only from the Shruti and the Smriti. You cannot know it anywhere else. Okay. Kenachid avagantum shakyante, by anybody, you cannot know it from other than Shruti and the Smriti, he says. Whatever is Vihita and what is Pratisiddha, etc. And again, if you don't do them, Yesham Akaranad, or if you do them also, what kind of phala you will get, etc. You only know from the Shruti and the Smriti. You cannot know it through Pratyaksha or Anumana. Therefore, whatever is revealed there is Pramana Vakya. So, also Nacha Yesham Karma Phalatvam. kenachid abhyupagamyate. Also, what is their karma phala? Also, anybody cannot gain that knowledge just like that by pratyaksha. Even papa punya itself is apurva only. Correct? It is not. It cannot be known through pratyaksha or anumana. Only Shruti Smriti have to reveal that. So all these things are only known through Shruti and Smriti. Therefore, what? So finally he says, Tasmat Vihita Akarana Pratisiddha Sevanam Yata Yete Karma Vipakaha Preta Tiryak Sthavaradeha Tata Utkrushteshu Api Brahmanteshu Karma Vipakatvam Veditavyam. So now why he is saying all these things? He says, like you accept from the Shruti and Smriti only, that if you do some forbidden acts and if you do not do whatever is mandated, because of that, what you will get? You will get all lowly lives like Preta Sharira or some, all this Tiryak means whatever is growing horizontally, like animals and plants, etc. That kind of life only you will get. Similarly, Shruti Smriti only is telling you, if you do Utkrishta Karma, you do good karma, you do the Vihita Karma, you do lot of Upasana, etc. Then you will obtain up to Brahmaji, Brahmanteshu. That also you have to know only from the Shruti and Smriti. Your own, whatever agenda you have, you cannot bring it into that. You cannot say moksha you will get by karma, correct? Both Shruti and Smriti are very clear. The maximum you can get from karma is only up to Brahmaji, Hiranyagarbha Pada. You cannot get anything more than that. Okay. So that is again very clearly said. So that also you have to learn or know from there only. You cannot bring your own all this Parisheshya Nyaya and all that they said, correct? None of that can really apply. Just to go by whatever is revealed by the Shruti and the Smriti. Therefore, what? Tasmat sa atmana vapam udakhidat so arodit ityadivat na abhuta arthavadatvam. Okay. See, you see certain vakyas are there in the Shruti which literally you cannot take the meaning. Okay. Because if you take the literal meaning, it doesn't make any sense. So you have to give some other meaning. So you cut your own some bhaga, some parts. So vapa means it is actually, they call it omentum and all that. This is one particular organ in your body. You cut your own organ means it is not possible. You cannot do that really. Means then you give some other meaning for that. These are arthavada. Or saha arodit means he cried. Means Agni cried. Like that there is a vakya is there. If Agni cried means, and that became silver. Like this there are references are there. Now what meaning do you give for this? Means they say that then you should not give silver as dhanam in a particular homa when you do. Only gold you have to give dhanam. You cannot give silver dhanam because Agni cried and it became silver. So silver is associated with crying. Like this they take a certain meaning and all that. This is all arthavad. Like this it is abhuta arthavadatva means what? Basically that whatever is said there is not otherwise possible. Okay, it is not normally possible, so you have to give some other meaning for that and make sense out of it. So like that it is not there. Okay, that's what he tries to explain here. So he has given a big argument. Also, tatrapi abhutarthavadatvam ma bhut iti chet bhavatu evam nacha etavata asya nyayasya badaha bhavati nacha asmat pakshaha va dushyati nacha brahma visvasrijaha ityadinam kamya karma phalatvam shakyam vaktum tesham devasashtitayaha phalasya uktatvat. Okay, now this Purvapakshi comes and says, let those things not be arthavada. I am okay. Okay. But then everything should not be arthavada. Okay. So he says, this Arthavadatvam, let it not be Arthavada. Okay. So what? He says here, yeah, Tatrapi, Tatrapi Abhuta Arthavadatvam Ma Bhuti Iti Chet. So the Purvapakshi says, let it not be Arthavada, means for us it is not a problem, correct? Fine. If you say it is not Arthavada, then what is the implication of that Bhashyakara is pointing out now? So he says, if it is not Arthavada, then you have to accept all these things, correct? Nacha etavata asya nyayasya badaha bhavati. So basically, if it is not Arthavada, it does not contradict anything, then for us everything is fine. It does not invalidate whatever we are saying. Whatever we have said, we have to take it as it is. It works out fine for us. And asmat pakshaha va na dushyati. It is not, by taking it as it is only, it is actually in favor of us. So if you yourself agree that the Arthavada need not be there, it is only favorable to us. We are okay with that. Okay. So that is fine. Further what? Nacha Brahma Visvashridaha ityadinam kamya karma phalatvam shakyam vaktum tesham devasashtitayaha palasya uktatvat. So this Brahma Visvashridaha, this particular verse is there, correct? So there, the results are all there. It is all karma phala only, correct? Results of karma phala. And there are also other kamya karma are there. So many kamya karmas you can do. Even Ashwamedha Yajna and all is kamya karma only. They can also lead you to certain position like becoming Hiranyagarbha. Okay, because they are all very difficult rites to do. So that is all fine. So by doing karma, you can achieve whatever you can achieve finally with reference to the karma phala itself. But the one who does karma, okay, with a particular result in mind, he will get that result. Okay, tasmat sabhisandhinam nityanam karmanam sarvameda ashwamedadinancha brahmatvadini phalani. So the same nitya karma also, if you want to do it for karma phala itself, that is fine. Then you are still only a karmata. You are not a karma yogi. You can still do the nitya karma, but you will get phala for that, whatever the swarga, etc. Because generally, if there is no phala given for a particular karma, swarga is to be taken. That rule we have already seen, Vishwajit Nyaya. So the karma phala you will get, okay, but the same nitya karma, if you do it with yoga buddhi, then its result is different. That's what. So yesham punaha nityani nirabhisandhini atma samskararthani tesham jnanotpatyarthani tani brahmiyam kriyate tanuhu iti smaranat. So this Manu also is mentioning that particular point. So the same karma, if you do it not for the karma phala, but for the purpose of purifying one's own mind, then it is for the purpose of jnana utpatti, it is for the sake of gaining jnanam, and in fact it makes your karyakarana sangata ready for this brahma jnana. Brahmiyam kriyate tanuhu, like that Manu also has said about that. So this is how we fit karma. Like I said, if you do karma for the purpose of phala, then you will get that phala. Or you can do it nirabhisanti and all that, okay, without the expectation of that particular result. You still do it only for Atma Shuddhi, Atma Samskaranartham. Then it becomes Moksha Sadhanam. So like this main point has been established. Only little bhashya is there. After that, I think we can go into the actual, the Brahmana, which itself is a very small Brahmana. Only couple of Vakyas are there. We'll see that. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.